Hey, Crispy. So I saw your post on Reddit. Sorry, I was a little slow to look at it, but I was interested because I play mostly ball on Diva. I'm a Masters console player. I also play a little Sigma and a little like whatever brawl tank is good. So right now Ramantra, but in the past Orisa and then Melga. Just because sometimes teams like really don't know how to play without a like run down the main like brawl character. And with Sigma, sometimes teams don't know when to go in. Like they just want to hang back and hang back and hang back. But it's kind of like pretty rare I'll swap off of Diva or Ball. So you're silver. I think at this rank, what'll help you climb the most is to really just simplify things and just try to like for most silvers I review, it comes down to like doing your job better, like knowing how your character does their job, and then the ways that your character is like the hero that you're playing is good at that. You know, what are their advantages? What are their weaknesses? How do we do this? And on tank, our job is to make space, right? That's what everyone says. How do you make space? You make space with pressure. And what's pressure? Pressure is like damage basically, but it's maybe more simple. It's like threatening to do something or doing something where like if nobody stops you, you're gonna get a kill. Okay, tank especially now with the most recent patch, pretty freaking strong because the survivability is like through the roof. Diva's damage is through the roof. So you really like on Diva, if you catch an isolated DPS, she's really good at killing things if they're stupid enough to be near her, right? So anyway, I like started making a video. It's like kind of really long and rambling, just talking about positioning and all those sorts of things. And I'm really gonna just try and make it simple. Um, on Diva, I'd like you to play a little less in general on both heroes. I'd like you to play a little less just with your team. And on Diva, we're looking for like short off angles that are like kind of, they're still sort of in front of your team, but to the side. And I'll point some out when we get there. And on Ball, I'd like you to play like a lot more behind the other team. Like look to get behind them, look to turn them around. Diva, you're trying to get on the turn like a little to the side, kind of. Um, because her mobility is like more limited. With Ball, you can literally like live in their back line and go grab a health pack and stuff, and that lets you like pick your spots and engage at the right time and do things that'll like help your team walk forward and then help your team get kills or get kills for yourself. Um, so yeah, like that's the main thing, and then like we'll also just talk about like abilities. I think you can use your abilities a little better. So on Devo, we'll just like really talk about the booster. You don't play her that long at first, so we'll look more at it on defense. So I'll just like talk quickly about it. But what'll help you like improve is to take one of these things and just really focus on it, play some games, and like just practice that. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. Put it out of your mind. Just try to play off angles better, right? And do that for like 2 or 3 sessions, and then look at a replay of yourself and like, am I doing the off angling better? And once you're doing that, then we can add the next thing. So generally, the ability thing is easier to fix than like off angling is like kind of conceptual. It's a positioning thing. So I'd focus on the boosting thing first. And what I want you to do, well, like look at this. I'm rambling a little. Just off the bat here, we have boost, right? We have micros. We can look to kill someone. You should kind of make a mental list in your head. You've come out, you've seen what they have. That's what you have to do at the beginning, like scout, get information. and see where they're at, right? And on any tank, you need to be thinking about like who's good for me to shoot, who's bad for me to shoot, and like who like if they use an ability, who can I kill? Who's killable for me right now, right? So like Moira, right? Kind of annoying to kill. You can eat her orbs, right? If she fades though, and you can reach her, you can burst her down like in an instant if she can't get away, right? Genji, this is like a great example of matchups actually. Genji, little hard for you to chase down because of his vertical mobility, especially if he has deflect and dash. But if he uses one or especially both of those, because a lot of time they'll like dash in and then blow their deflect, then you can shoot him. You can kill him, no problem. You have like shotguns, unlimited ammo. Like sure, he's hard to track, but yeah, you can burst him down. Mercy, little hard for you. Mainly, like you have to kind of wait for her, like shoot her a bit, wait for her to boost somewhere, and then boost after her. Like after she uses her guardian angel, and then you can kill her, right? Torb over here. Torb you can kill if he has overdrive, but even if he's used overdrive, like the thing where he gets like overhealth. But even if he hasn't, like you can matrix all his damage, right? So mentally, like for me and Zarya, we'll talk about later. But if she uses two bubbles, you can start shooting her. You expect the third, like she'll get one back, right? And then you can blow her up. You actually out DPS her. But only if you catch her without bubbles, if you're sure she doesn't have bubbles. So it's really helpful to count the bubbles that you see and try to force them out. A lot of Zarya's, especially at this rank, and really through Diamond easily, they're playing Zarya, they see the DVa, they're like, I counter DVa, I need to shoot DVa, right? And they'll like try and chase you and stuff. The thing is, like, her range, it's not that good. She can't go where you go either. Like, if you boost to high ground, she has to waddle her way up around to chase you down. And if she's like looking at you and not your team can shoot her. Especially if you have something like, actually, a lot of these guys, Cass, Bap, Farah, they all can shoot her at range, right? And she can't interact with them really. She can beam Cassidy because he wants to play close range. She's pretty good into him. And you can't protect the damage. But if she's busy like trying to beam you, she won't do that, right? Off the rip though, what I was gonna say, the reason I paused it is like there's someone killable like right now. Right? And you see him too, right? Look at this Torb. His team is like all the way over here, and you have boost, right? If you just boost up here, your team is safe, right? They're behind the choke, and they'll see what you do. You boost up here, you cut off his retreat. He can't get out. If he pauses overdrive, you just matrix. You have 3.5 seconds of matrix. It's busted. But you boost up here, use your micros on him, use your primary, you maybe matrix some of his clips so he runs out of ammo. He has to run all the way through here to get to you. So like you'll probably get another boost that you can chase after him with, right? And if you kill him, Mercies at this rank, they always look to res, right? Honestly, like through Platinum easily. Again, probably through Diamond. They'll always look to res like as soon as they can. So if you just wait here when he's dead, she'll come up like trying to res, and then you just blow her up too, right? This is kind of a quick read to make, but it is sort of the first thing you want to know. It's like immediately, is there anyone I can punish? Right? Punishing is pressure. Punishing meaning you've made a mistake and I can probably kill you for it. Or if not, like a bunch of people have to do something to save you. Okay? When we get like a little higher rank, it's gonna be a question of like sometimes he'll go for a punish and someone will help them, right? And you need to also make a call of like, is this the most value I'm gonna get from the situation? Like, I'm not actually gonna kill them, but I got Mercy to come help. So now I can go over where Mercy isn't. I can go kill the other healer, right? I can pressure the tank. I can force out the Genji, right? There's things that are like not killing people that are also valuable, but we had to kind of go through a phase, like through Platinum, of like on tank of just like killing the people you can kill. Like learning when to be aggressive and where, okay? So the main thing I want to talk about on DVa, and you're on it so quickly that I've already sort of talked too long. I want you to boost better. What does that mean? It means try to land your boosts on a high ground. Try not to land your boost, like end your boost, in a place where like you don't have cover and you'll get blown up. The other thing, and this is what I was just talking about, is off angling, okay? So the problem with walking straight into Zarya from the same direction as most of your team is like twofold, right? It's exactly what she wants, especially this situation. She can beam you for a bit, duck, get a bubble, beam you, pop her bubble, right? Get a bunch of energy, and she just does this. She forces you to stay here, kind of, because you keep taking damage. And you're not forcing her or her team to move, You're not creating any space. However, let's say that you were like over here. Now we're off angling, right? Because now the Zarya, she has to choose. Am I going to look over here at this Cass and try to kill him? And I'll look over at this Bap, try to kill him? Or am I going to look at this DVa? And at these lower ranks, like 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to beam you because they're like, I'm countering you. I'm countering you. Look, I'm countering you, right? So we play here. We still have this cover to back off to. We can also just like boost to high ground or something like that. We could boost over to this Mega. She's like slow, right? So this kind of would open up this choke a bit more for your team to get through. Give them space, right? The other thing you can look to do, we'll play it a little. The thing that really works against these kind of ground tanks is going to high ground. And so we're looking at, you're in the middle of a boost, right? I want to look at this. We end our boost here, right? And what's wrong with this is we're in the middle, like we're right in the open, right in front of our team. We don't have a shield, right? We just have Matrix. And we don't block Zarya beam. We don't block Moira's damage, right? If she was a better player, she would be trying to shoot your Moira or your Cass. And you couldn't do anything about that. So we land our boost here. Zarya can beam us. Look how fast your health goes down. Right? And we can't get away. So rewind it a little from before the boost. Or you're boosting now. Why aren't you on the screen? Let's pause it when you boost. Okay. The better boost here would have been to land on a high ground. And you have a bunch of options, right? We'd land up here. This is actually pretty good. Most higher ranks, people will be up here, and your main job is to try and get these guys to move. We'd land like up here. This is not quite as good just because you don't do as much damage from this range. But people probably look at you. Maybe up here is even better because now we're close enough that we could probably kill someone if they ignore us. And we can always drop down, boost over to that Mega, boost over to this Mega here. Right? And what does that do is it makes space. Because if we're on these things, we could also land like here. This is actually really good. Landing behind them on DVa is really good as long as you're sure that you're not gonna get chased down without your team doing something about it, right? That's the thing that makes me think like work on a boost first and then a positioning because um, if you like make a bad judgment call with off angling, you isolate yourself, right? The reason this is good at this moment is your team is walking through the choke. Their team is all like really close. There's no one back here to spam you out. Or over here. A lot of people play over here. Or up there. So you could be up here shooting his Torb. Sometimes they have a turret around here. I don't know where his turret is. I think it died. You'd be up here just shooting these guys until enough people turn around, and then you could just drop. And then you can boost back and land on this high ground, land on that high ground, right? High ground's great because Zarya can't reach you. She has to work really hard to reach you. She has to turn her camera. You know, if I'm Zarya here, I had to turn my camera like up there, back there, back there to spam the DVa. Or like we said earlier, like the entry one where you're just to the side a little. She has to turn her camera and then she can't look at these guys, right? She can't look for a better target. So that's a big thing. But the biggest mistake here, the reason you lose mech, is you just land our boost in like an unsafe place. And if we had our mech, you know, we got a couple picks, we probably could have turned this fight and just capped. Or killed the Mercy. So, like, the other thing I'll say, usually the reason I swap ball, I will swap ball on Zarya, because ball's, again, more mobile than Zarya. Usually I swap ball because, like, sort of because, like, their team is going to out-sustain my team, and I need to shoot the healers. And maybe there's also, like, a DPS that I know I can go kill, right? In other words, like, I think I can isolate someone or like spread them apart, right? And because of their comp, like I'm taking too much damage on DVa to be able to do that, like from the front, from these like off to the side a little, off angles, as we call them. So I want to be behind them. I want to be able to like step on the point or step on a payload to pull them away from the choke, that kind of thing. I want to get to some faraway places or to like hard counter snipers. Ball is like the hardest counter to Widow in the game. Very, very good in the Ashe. Very good into Hanzo. Very good into Sojourn. Pretty good into Soldier. Pretty good into Cassidy if you have to like wait for some of his cooldowns, but you can actually kill him. And actually you can kill Sombra too. People talk like it's like the hardest counter ever, but actually it's pretty good. It's just when you have more than one thing that counters you that gets to be problematic. But usually, like in a neutral game, I'm looking to shoot a healer and get the other healer to come help them. Like either I kill that healer, like Mercy, we can chase her down. We have the mobility to do that. We can, if we have grapple and she's trying to res near us, we can boop it. Ball's like the most consistent hero at canceling res. Because grapple's a pretty short cooldown, and again, like you're just so mobile. Moira I can catch when she's used fade. Again, Genji after deflect. And I can chase him down to I force dash or force deflect, and then I can go try and kill him. Torb, actually, you can spawn camp Torb as well, especially if he's used overdrive. So anyway, now we're on ball. And my favorite resource for ball is Yeedle's Unranked to GM. He made a new one. He's like an OG Overwatch 1 ball streamer. I learned to play ball from him back in the day, 6v6. And he made a new 5v5 one like not too long ago after Retract and sharing shields, or as he calls it, shouting your shields. after that came out, but before the minefield buffs even. So now Ball's even stronger. And it's just a really, really good resource to just look at how he plays each map. He's really good at talking through his thought process. I think a lot of unranked GMs are just smurfing, and you don't learn anything from it. But he's actually like really quality at teaching the fundamentals. Okay, and on Ball, the fundamentals are scout. So get to a place where you can get information, set up, get to a place behind them or to the side of them or above them, where you can hit them where you want to hit them based on your scouting, based on where your team is and where their team is, and then strike. And that's the engage itself, right? And I think you're kind of bad at scouting and setting up. Okay, what I mean by that is, first of all, we have grapple right now. Okay. We have a dead Zarya. Okay. We need to be going in, like right now. And we either need to be pulling these guys back from the choke to, again, make space for our team, or try and get a kill on this Torb. He's way too far up. Cass is shooting him. We could, like, roll through and then jump off this thing, or get a high grapple, roll through, and slam him and just get him trapped right at the choke. We get a free kill here. Or at the least, we need to be maybe grappling up here, retract, and then go over. But right now, what we need to do is make space, right? And there's so many different ways you can go over and around like this stuff and just be there immediately. But the other way to make space on Ball, he doesn't have a shield, right? He doesn't do anything if he's just staying with the team. Is he just gets people to turn and look at him, right? And the trick to tanking on Ball is to do that at the right time, because you've scouted and you're set up in the right place, that it makes space for your team. When your team wants to walk through here, you start shooting from like over here or something, or back here. This Torb is like, what? Hey, I'm going to kill you. And then they go that way, and your team walks forward while they're looking back at you. Okay? So a good simple rollout, and this works on like Eichenwald first too. It's like very similar in a weird way. Would be to just like grapple somewhere here and just roll like fireball straight back here. Okay. Or fireball straight back here. I'd probably fireball here, wait until my grapple's a little closer to off cooldown, and then just touch point. And these guys will be like, oh shit, the point. And then they'll turn around, and that'll make space, right? This rollout is like, you're not using any abilities and you're just not doing anything, right? And even then, we see this. If we just glanced at our team here, our Cass is like in the choke. We slam like here-ish and start shooting. We're behind them. These guys can't kill us. It's important to try to be a little like outside. We could slam up here too, and it'll still do damage to them, but then we're on the high ground and we shoot. Or we fireball them this way, maybe slam, or even just a fireball and then start shooting them over here. We're trying to get these guys to look at us because we have a huge amount of health, especially if we get a good overshield from a group of them. And then that gives us space, gives our Pharah space, our cast space to walk forward. Right? And then for abilities, I want you to get better slams. Look at this. This is right when the slam hits. We can look at it again in slow-mo. Right? You popped out the Torb and did, what is that? 25 damage to him, right? Slam does more damage the closer you are to someone. It does AoE damage. So we're trying to slam right on top of people. I think it's because you're not looking. Like when you slam, you can still, like when you press the button, there's like a wind up. You go up a little and then down. And so we want to like tilt our camera down and then sort of aim it. And you move a little forward when you slam. But we just could have aimed this a lot better. Yeah. I like that you still have your excuse me. I like that you still have your grapple, but let's use that, right? You're full health. I'm not sure what you're afraid of here. Let's, if we slam and don't use grapple, let's use grapple and like just roll through these guys. Maybe we end up here and start shooting someone. Or we try to separate these guys. We slam, shoot a bit, grapple, fireball through these two, take them over here, right? We're trying to pull their team apart. So this kind of like chilling by your team at full health with all your ammo and stuff, it just doesn't do that much. This is a great slam. I'm not sure what that grapple is, but we killed someone, we should have been holding our grapple to try and cancel res. I like that you killed a buildable. That's your job as Ball, because you can get to it. But here, our teams died. I highly recommend you turn on team deaths, the sound, like play sound cue on team deaths, just so you can keep track of if you're winning or losing, okay? At this point, we've lost this fight, right? We probably get out of dodge, but we don't need to go back to our team. We can go like back here. I think there's like a mini, I think there's a mega like over here. We could try to make this torch stay on point. We go get this mega and come up here. He's slow, right? By the time we get up here, if he's chasing us, we'll have our grapple, and then we could maybe assess. We go back to scouting. We could see the Zaryas walking forward, and we could either do something about it or do something to the rest of their team. We could have fireballed also over here to get that mega. I do like that you recognize that you've split the team. But now we're in your like really, really slow setup, right? You're not really scouting anything right now. Like you have third person on Ball, right? Like that's why it's so good to like roll over like this way and be here, because you're in third person and you can see around a corner and see what they're doing. You can see this towards pot is overdrive, right? So he's killable. We could be over here and shooting a Mercy. That would probably be the best target, I would say. Especially because Moiras in general just like suck at healing the other healer. They just don't do it for some reason. Or even just like a grapple here-ish and like rolling back and forth, like fireballing back and forth here to clear this out. That would be good. But I just want to point out, like, look at, they're all here, right? And it's hard for your team to walk through this choke, but look at all of this space. Nobody is back here, right? And on Ball, you're so mobile, this is your space. So we want to be to the sides or above or behind them. It's like DVa off angles and Wrecking Ball flanks. Hard flanks. Here, again, I think you're just slamming to slam, but the tank is usually the worst person to slam because you don't do that much damage to them relative to their health pool. You do like 100 damage with slam if you hit it like right on him. That's a lot of a squishy's health. That's almost half. But for Zarya, it's not that much. And not only that, she's going to bubble it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, right? So you don't do anything other than charge her. If you'd slammed this Torb and Mercy here and kept them there, this barrage probably would have killed them. Right? And this Moira faded, that would be a much better target. In general, you're like, you don't want to be fighting the other tank. You want to be stopping the people. You want to see when a tank goes forward, you want to stop anyone from helping them. And it's true on DVa too. It's just you look at it from more of the front, but you're looking for the people who are like running behind to heal the Zarya or shoot where the Zarya is shooting, right? That's how you counter a Zarya on DVa. See, this is great. Coming back here is great. We get the Torb back. He's alone on point. The Zarya is kind of by herself. I don't think that helps unless you're going to slam her because you think you can kill her, but I don't think you made that judgment. You actually boot the Zarya forward and she could have killed the BAP. We have to be really careful about that. When she has shields too, we don't get adaptive shields from her. You can look at it again. We'll do slow-mo. So she bubbles. You see how little you got? You got like the minimum. Right? If you had rolled through and popped your shields as you went, like with more people around you, you would have gotten like 400 health, right? Instead you got like 100, I think is the minimum. So we just don't do that much there. At this point, personally, I'd be like, okay, I'm playing for mines, and I'm going to try to win this fight with mines. And I know they have grab. But anyway. Again, we're just not setting up. Like, you actually made space when you went back here, and there's no reason not to... They can't force you out, right? There's no reason not to be over here. Fireball straight to over here. Fireball straight to here. If nobody chases you, go touch point, right? Like, now we roll out here, but we could have just done that. We didn't need to go up here to do that. We could have just been here. We can grapple that spot from here. We're just like a little slow to do everything. Look at this. You slammed them. Like, yeah, there's some ults when they back off, but look at how we get them all back here. This, you could have done this like sooner, easier, and without as many ults. But you just need to look to set up, like, behind them, to the side of them. Be like, I'm going over here, come chase me if you want. Ball is all about getting people to chase you when they shouldn't, okay? Now in mines, the big thing with mines, they got buffed. It's a really good ult. Right now, Ball, I think, is not that great in the meta, just because the tanks are buffed to the point that they're so survivable that even if you isolate them at, like, it masters, I'm talking about here, even if you isolate them, they still sometimes don't die, even though you're, like, occupying both healers and they're pushing, they're, like, overextending. And part of that is squishies don't know how to play around the more survivable tanks, so there's a bit of a learning curve. So I'm not sure like if it'll always be this way. But the mines are like one of the best tank ults right now. You always get at least one kill if you do it well. And this game, it's not like that, but in games where people counterpick you, like that's what they're giving up as ult charge, and you can win games as long as you use your mines well, even if they're like hard swap. Here, I also want to point out, you're in a great place. This is setting up. You don't want these guys to touch. You don't want them to walk over there. Like, at this rank, like up through Masters, look at what the Moira does out of spawn. Fade, right? Where are you? There. Where's the Mercy looking? That way. And you can see her, right? Like, if you just started shooting her, she does so little damage to you. Like, A better player would probably be a little quicker and just get a kill. But even if you don't, and she's just like, using her useless primary on you right here, um, like you're preventing her from going that way and supporting her team. And right now, the thing that we want to avoid them touching. They're not good enough to realize they can do that. Because spawn distance is actually pretty good. But also, just like a macro level, this choke is actually really brutal if their team gets set up. So we want them to not do that, right? So back to the theme, this is about flanking, right? Bulk and spawn camp, actually a lot of these characters, if you catch them at the right time and you're fast enough to do it. You can spawn camp Torb even if he has overdrive, if he's alone. But just keeping them back would be good enough while still staying alive. Like, I don't understand why you roll back to your team here. I don't know what this does for you. We need to be scouting and setting up. Okay. We're over here. This is pretty good. We could grapple and retract up here. And we could land here or not, or just kind of slow swing here. Because we could drop on mines. These guys went too far forward. We could drop on mines like here and a slam, and we'd get like 2, 3, maybe even 4 kills. Like, if we were a little better with our grapples, we were a little more over here, we mines, slam, like this corner, boom. Like, if that had been on mines, and especially if you had traveled a little further, towards immobile, Moira, I think, faded just now, right? Yeah. Moira faded, you saw that. Mercy is gonna be a dumbass and fly to someone for sure, or try to rest them in the mines at this rank. We do that. We keep the cart rolling. We can push all the way. Like we could get free push on a payload here. Like you're full health. Why aren't you shooting something right now? You need to trade your health for damage on tank. And we absolutely don't want to be pushing the payload. I like that you're using retract here. Personally, I don't think Winston's really worth slamming again. Like all tanks, you don't do that much damage to him. Like if he's killable and he's trying to get away, then slam him, because then he can't get away. But like in a neutral thing, I would have probably just like retract landed. I would have landed and just started shooting him until he moves. Maybe grappled and fireballed. I just don't want him here. That's all. I don't want him to set up so he can go on my team. Again, we had to be looking for our mines. We had to be scouting. There's no value in going back to your team. We need to live on the flanks. We should just be chasing this Winston too. He's all alone, right? We could be going through here and behind. We could solo mine this Torb Mercy, right? We can keep their stagger rolling. There's Omega like down here, right? And at higher ranks, usually if I have mines on this phase, I'm looking to mine up here because this is the most powerful part of the map. But people in lower ranks don't play high ground unless they like accidentally end up there. He jumped. We can boop him back. We could... That's fine. We could kill that Moira. Pop shields. Even then, our team isn't taking the space we're giving them that much, but you've made a lot of space. These guys are all distracted. But now we're coming, like, again, just like, here I come, right? They don't have a reason to not shoot this way. And that's what you need to be doing on ball. They need to be looking behind them. You should be just shooting this Mercy, right? Winston can't help her that effectively as far as tanks go. But again, I would be looking for a mines. This is a fat mines opportunity. Like, try and land it here-ish. the Genji's in, the Winston's in, and we just separate them. Or we land on mines. Yeah, I would like right on a Torb probably. He's the most immobile. Right? Their Winston does shit, and we're not doing anything. And now we've had mines like a bunch of fights. And haven't used them, right? I like the spray though. Here, like, no reason to slam the Genji. Like, even for a silver player, it was so slow to retract and slam and stuff. And you didn't even hit him, right? I would just shoot him. Just shoot him until you force deflect or dash, and then look for the slam, like, when you're actually going to get him stuck somewhere, okay? But here, look at this. We grapple and come in up here, like a little behind him and mine, and slam. We can get fat shields off them, like on our way in. Or we mine and slam, we get 2, 3, 4 kills maybe, because Genji also dashed, right? You need to just kind of go past them sometimes. That's fine. Oh, reload moment. Even then, we went on the supports, so we have some success here. He's, you know, angry, whatever. Could mine here now. Get it up here. Reaper's probably used Fade to get out of spawn. Yep. Oh no, he hasn't. A lot of the time they do. Right? We secure this space, and then the payload can get out of this tunnel, which is really hard, especially when your team is dumb and they just take low ground and not the high ground, where the Winston just is living for free. Right? We're just kind of rolling around here, like in our team, with like most of our health. Like, who is moving or doing anything but shooting into your team as a result of what you're doing right now? We could have, yeah, we could have gotten our shields and shared them too. That maybe would have peeled the Winston. Again, you've had mines this whole time. This dude grabbed, switched Winston, got a primal, and used it all before you've used your mines. We really should be looking to share our shields. Could have maybe slammed. I don't have a problem with you like running away, but I don't think you really need to run to your team. You could, but I would probably be running up these stairs and like over here, get the south back. Run into there, get that mega there, something like that. So I stay behind your team, and I'm set up, right? Scout and set up. I'm set up to hit a big mines. This cart isn't a great place to mines. Again, we're kind of looking for this sort of area. If people use the high ground more, you could do it a little more in so that some of the mines are on high ground. But if we get a good mines engage here, we can get some kills off the rip. And this is just like a full reset. I think you give your supports ult charge, but they have ult, right? Here, again, if you checked on your team, you would have noticed he's here. He's actually done this like the last 3 fights or so. But if we scout, the other read we can make, and this is similar to the first point, is like, they're all here. These guys are on high ground. Their Tord comes forward, right? There's nothing to stop us from like getting some sort of high grapple, like maybe on this or something, or one of these, like if we jump up and roll up onto this thing. And just rolling maybe through to do a little damage, but going straight like vertically to the point here. We could kill the turret and start pushing it, and then suddenly these guys turn around. It's the same idea as the first point, and then we can mines it. You know, we could wait for the Moira to fade back, which she'll do, and jump off the payload mines and slam and kill her. Right? Like, we just kind of don't make space for our team to enter here. And we go back, and now we have to start again, right? You had most of your health. Again, let's go over to... Who's the furthest back? Torb. There's no reason we couldn't have rolled out over to here to get this Mega. And been set up. Get these guys back from this choke, right? We need to play on the flanks more. And slamming the Reaper too, not the best slam. Sorry, I've forgotten about that a little. Slam the Reaper, we don't really do any damage. What's a better slam? These guys. If they're grouped out too, you get bigger shields. Slam, shoot the Mercy. Shoot the Torb. Shoot the Moira. Probably shoot the Mercy. Right? And then the Winston, he's sitting up here, he watches how he's like, oh shit, I gotta help. You roll through here. Maybe you drop the mines. You could also just like mines this group. Probably get a triple kill. Like we finally go here and look. You see how their teams split up now? When you go through them, you actually get some success. The execution is not the best, but you still get some success. We probably could have used our shields earlier to like save our health pool. Try to get shields like when you'll get a big shield. And then that way, like after the shields are done, like you can either shout them to your team or you'll still have the armor when the overhealth fades off, right? Again, we also just haven't used mines. And here, we need to be thinking, you do this, you do it too late. We don't need to push the card here. We got 2 people on it. Maybe we want to like share our shields with our team if we had them. Probably should have done it earlier. Like try to do it, like make a habit of doing it, like as your shields are wearing off. But we want to be grappled. We probably want to just like come straight here, grapple up here, wait for 1 or 2 people to walk through, mines and slam, like all around here. The annoying thing on a hold like this is the people from spawn who like take cover over here and take over here. So we want to get like a minefield that goes behind the cover and on the cart. Super winnable from this position. Not bad. A little too high up, I think. And I think they're also about to draw some ults on you. Yeah. We could have been looking to get our shields earlier and shared them. It looks like we do it, just too late. I don't think you necessarily played that like super poorly there at the end. But maybe you could have like tried to go into their spawn like sooner and tried to stop the Winston from just jumping on a point. So we back on the D.Va here. So remember, we're talking about ending our boosts on high ground. We're talking about playing off angles, not flanks like ball, but off angles. So like, we're like kind of to the side and kind of above. And it's not like you can never play main on D.Va. She's a pretty good brawler, and for some characters, you kind of want to do that a little more. There's some characters you want to play like really close, like Sigma. Sigma, you want to like take some cover like just around a corner from him. He wants to keep people at a distance. He's like poking people with his little stick. He's got like an old man cane and he's poking them. That's his spheres. You play him super close. You burn his shield, you stop him from rotating, you stop him from spamming for free. Hog, same thing. You want to avoid the hook with some cover, but against a hog, I'll be playing like here, let's say. Which way? Oh. Here, let's say. So I'm like a little to the side, but also I'm close enough to him that I can matrix him when he hooks someone else. And he'll only hook me if I like let him do that. Which like maybe I want him to get naded, let's say. Okay, we got the sprays. That's cool. So we're just looking at your positioning and your boosts. I'm gonna try to talk a little less because this review's gone on. I said it would be short. So we'll look at this and then we'll kind of end it. I'm not gonna look at the whole thing because we're at 50 minutes here. But I think I've given you a lot to think about on ball already. So we saw a bubble, we saw 2 bubbles. We can just shoot her. Oh, whoops. That's the second bubble. We can just shoot her. I think this gets good results, but it's a pretty bad boost. Again, you don't end on high ground. You don't end near cover. You can just end. High ground is really easy cover. If I'm up here, I can shoot the Torb, and then I can hide, and he can't shoot me. It's a corner, right? It's just a different, it's like horizontal. Same deal. If you want to make this boost, fine. Boost into her. Make sure you can go around this corner here. Or boost through, be over here. Right? We can get that mega. Did you know about that one? We're just eating like so much damage. Sorry, it's at 40% alt charge. I like this. So this, you might think I'm going to say this is a bad boost. It's a great boost. Why is it a great boost? Because you're safe from most things. It's just the Zarya shooting you. She can't really kill you alone. You've isolated her. You're booping her in, right? So you've ended your boost in cover from most of their team's damage. And on DVa, this is exactly what we're looking for. You can do it a lot better than just face tanking all that shit. Like, she's at 50% ult charge here. Like 30 seconds into the match. But we're looking to prevent her team from walking up and then catch her alone and without a bubble or with only one bubble in a spot where she can't get out of because she's not mobile like we are. And here, if you want to hold this forward, this angle really good. Again, we could be here and kind of a boost up to there or boost around back to our team if we're like kind of skirmishing, right? We could even like boost up here. Fuck it. This is pretty good cover. Shoot the turret. They can't do a thing about it. The BAP could jump up, I guess. We could go catch that Hanzo. Yeah, we do. Nice. Exactly the reads you need to make. But no reason to jump down. We can just stay set up here. It's a great off angle. Especially with what they're running. It's a little dangerous in that, like, it's a long boost. Like, you need to clear out of it kind of fast. Like, I think you could get to here, maybe. I'm not sure you could get over the train car. But she probably can't catch you if you're, like, smart about it. But we don't need to sit just main. We saw a bubble. Try to force out the next one. Micro. Here again. Not a very safe boost. It's not a safe boost, and so we have to get out of dodge, get way back because we're at like 10 health because we boosted in the middle of their team, right? No cover. Didn't land on high ground. And so we like bailed all the way back. Our cast is slower than us, so he dies for that, for our sins. You see what I mean? Like, he's like, oh, I'm poking up. I'm gonna help the D.Va. Right? That's your fault. I hate to say it, but it's true. Now we're on a back foot. Team's struggling to heal us up. I like that you go for the Lucio. Could have been better execution. I like that you go for Hanzo and catch him isolated here. We need to maybe be looking a little for a full Matrix. We definitely should have been looking for that. If we have ult, probably the other tank is ult. Or we need to at least be matrixing this Torb, right? Especially if we're just not that good at tracking and can't kill Lucio. He was killable, but... We're matrixing the wrong direction here. We're matrixing Zarya, which we can't. We can't eat her damage. We need to eat the Tor damage spamming into this. Lander boost again, like in the middle of the point. I don't mind the ult. I love this. You need to be doing this like way earlier. You notice how when you're catching people on high ground and stuff, like look, your team can walk here. You don't win this, but we almost get the Mercy here, and we're like way down in the fight. Yeah? We're trying to juke. I think it's ball time probably, yep. And again, like, so the change, the rework, like the grapple retract, it's so good for setting up. We can do the same hold that they do. We can do what that Winston did, but actually a little better if we were tracked like up here. We can sit up here and use our third person. We can hang from one of these. Yeah. We're just kind of going to strike. We're not scouting and setting up that much. I like that you're coming around here. Okay, they're walking forward. We slam. Great. We get shields here. We should get their shields sooner. I like that you're just relentlessly on the Hanzo. We probably could have gotten a retract slam here or wall jump or something. We need to be looking to cancel the res. Too slow. We had grapple. We could have used it. We're living on point though. Like, this is a problem for them. Could have. Oh, we didn't have sun. We can get our shields again. Look how eventually the Zarya turns around to deal with you because you're stalling the point so goddamn long. That's what you need to do. And we could have used our shields like way sooner. We're out even though we have shields, right? That slam. Who are you slamming? Do you even look like where your slam's gonna land? So that's the thing. I didn't maybe point out enough slams, but you need to like look below you and try to aim your slam a bit more. Think about who you want to slam and when. But mostly on ball, we need to live behind them. We need to get behind them and we need to fight them from flanks. That's behind, that's above, okay? And on D.Va, it's the same thing, but just a little different. Like we're a little more forward and we're a little to the side. We're off angling, okay? And then beyond that, just like being clear about what we're trying to do. On ball, we want to either spread people apart or like get them to pull back so that our team has space. And on DVa, it's like a little similar, but we're trying to get them to turn to the side. Ball, they turn around. DVa, they turn to the side. Okay? And land your boosts in a safe place. And work on those, and I think you'll climb. All right. Thanks for watching.